Welcome to the Middle East Talent and Leadership, where we explore leadership, executive careers, business, and the realities of today's workplace across the Middle East and beyond. I'm Ines Mokrani, founder of Matchmaker Number One. This podcast isn't about headlines or corporate cliches. It's about understanding how leadership, organizations, and careers really work, so you can make better decisions for yourself, your team, and your business. Today, we're talking about a hidden leadership problem. Why the higher you move in an organization, the more filtered reality becomes, and why leaders are often the last to know what's really happening. Let's dive in to understand the truth of leadership. There is a strange paradox in leadership, one that often goes unspoken in the boardrooms of Riyadh, Dubai, and beyond. In an age of data, why do leaders feel so disconnected from the truth? The higher you move in an organization, the more information you receive. You are flooded with reports, constant meetings, complex dashboards, and high-level presentations. You have more data than ever before. And yet, the higher you go, you may actually know less about what is really happening on the ground. It sounds contradictory, doesn't it? To have more data but less reality. When you're part of a team, people speak relatively openly around you. You hear the raw frustration, the genuine doubts, and you see exactly what isn't working before it's filtered. But the moment you become the manager, the language changes. The process is no longer called a disaster. Now it is described as an operational challenge. The reality begins its first stage of polishing. The client isn't unhappy anymore. There are just some concerns regarding expectations. And the project isn't failing. It is simply currently under review. Same reality, different language. And the higher information travels through an organization, the more polished it often becomes. Imagine a company with 5 management levels. At each level, the emotional weight of the problem is stripped away. By the time the information reaches the top, the emotional reality has disappeared. A serious operational crisis becomes a yellow dot on a PowerPoint slide. The CEO sees a plan, not the pain. Most people aren't deliberately lying. They are translating. They want to sound professional. They want to show they are in control, and they don't want to be the one bringing bad news into the room. Authority changes conversations. People don't speak to the CEO the way they speak to their peers. Even in organizations that pride themselves on an open-door policy, the power dynamic is always present. Because culture isn't what is written on the wall. Culture is what people believe will actually happen after they speak. That is the fundamental difference between transparency and safety. Organizations have long memories. If a manager reacted defensively when someone raised a problem 2 years ago, people remember. Employees learn very quickly what is safe to say and what is better left unsaid. Interestingly, the information gap can become even bigger around highly successful leaders. Why? Because they have strong opinions, vast experience, and they make decisions with speed and conviction. If a CEO says they strongly believe a market will grow, what happens in the next meeting? Very few will say, "I think you're wrong." Instead, the organization starts looking for data that supports the leader's direction. The positive indicators are highlighted. The risks are still there, but perhaps hidden on slide 37, in a smaller font. This isn't manipulation, it's simply how people adapt to power. We also need to talk about data. Modern organizations love their dashboards, and I love data. I've spent years working with reporting structures, but data is not a substitute for reality. It is a representation of it. A dashboard tells you what you decided to measure. It doesn't tell you what you forgot to ask. Employee turnover might look stable, but your top 3 performers may have already mentally decided to leave. A transformation program might show 80% completion, but everyone involved knows the new process doesn't work. Incomplete information presented professionally creates dangerous levels of confidence. The slides look good. The KPIs are green, but sometimes that is exactly when leaders should become most curious. The answer isn't more reporting. It's about initiating different types of conversations. Instead of asking, "Is everything on track?" ask, "What are we underestimating?" Instead of, "Are there any problems?" ask, "What would you tell me if you knew I wouldn't react defensively?" These questions open the door. The question is only half of it. The reaction matters more. Because the moment someone gives you an uncomfortable answer, the whole organization is watching to see how you respond. That is your moment of truth. Do you become defensive, or do you say, "Tell me more"? Those three words can completely change the quality of information a leader receives. It moves the focus from prove it to a genuine search. Because if you want access to reality, you have to make reality safe to discuss. Senior leaders aren't expected to know everything. A CEO cannot hear every conversation. That is not a leadership failure. The real risk begins when leaders believe that the information reaching them is the complete picture. It rarely is. Every report is a perspective, every presentation is a selection, and every update is a filter. Strong leaders understand this. They become curious. They deliberately look for missing information and speak to people outside their usual circle. They listen to the person in the room who makes everyone uncomfortable. Bridging the information gap requires conscious effort. Without it, authority will eventually give you less access to the truth. Real leadership begins with the courage to listen to what isn't on the slide. Stay curious, look for the missing pieces, and as always, stay strategic. I'm Ines Mokrani, and this was your moment of truth. Thank you for watching the Middle East Talent and Leadership Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit from this conversation. I'd also love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below. Until next time, lead with clarity, decide with confidence, and keep growing. I'm Ines Mokrani, and I'll see you in the next episode.